In the obsidian skies above Zarithia Prime, the Grand Imperial Fleet hovered like a swarm of silent predators. Gleaming citadel ships, thousands of meters long, pulsed with gravitational energy, blotting out entire sectors of space. At the heart of this formidable fleet was the Empress herself, seated upon a crystalline throne carved from the remains of a neutron star, surrounded by courtiers genetically enhanced for both beauty and obedience. Empress Elaria Vex, ruler of the Zarithian Empire and descendant of the star-forged bloodline, was not accustomed to failure. Her empire had enslaved 36 sentient species, tamed black holes, and rewritten planetary atmospheres to suit her whims. Yet now, her fury scorched the chamber like a solar flare. Her daughter, Princess Zyrella, had been abducted. The culprit, unknown. The reason, unclear. But the insult, unforgivable. Elaria's voice rang like struck metal. How is it that my own blood, heir to the eternal flame, is missing, and my fleet did not intercept a single vessel? Her war counselors knelt. Majesty, we believe the abduction was conducted through a rift portal, not conventional space. Her eyes narrowed. Rift portals were illegal technology, outlawed even by the most savage of galaxies. A science forgotten or at least believed to be. If someone had rediscovered it. Her fingers clenched the throne arms. I want my daughter found. Burn 10,000 worlds if you must. Across the stars a storm began. Zyrella's prison was unlike any she had imagined. There were no whips, no icy cells, no cruel overlords. Instead, it was a broken-down freighter drifting silently above a dying moon. The crew was ragtag. Rebels, outlaws, and exiles, most of them not even Zarithian. And her rescuer, human. She had never seen one before, not outside the slave pits of entertainment arenas. Humans were weak, primitive, barely above beasts. And yet, this one had carried her out of the flaming wreckage of a pirate attack with arms stronger than any Zarithian nobleman's. He had faced down biomech raiders with only a plasma cutter and pure rage. His name was Riven Kor, and he was a slave. She watched him now, through the grated vents of the infirmary room where she was being treated. Riven was outside, patching the ship's hull with nothing but a repair torch in his bare hands, scorched red from exposure to a solar flare the day before. No cryogloves. No help. Why does he serve you? Zyrella asked the captain, a burly Droskan female with scars carved across her thorax. The captain laughed. Serve. Girl, he saved your highborn skin. He saved all of us last week. We serve him more than he serves us. But he wears a slave tag. The captain leaned closer. He wears it to remind himself. Not us. Zyrella's mind reeled. A slave. Choosing servitude. Or perhaps choosing his own redemption. Didn't make sense. But what troubled her more, deeply, dangerously, was the way he looked at her. Not with awe, not with fear, not even with desire, but with pity. Elaria's forces scoured the outer rim, deploying mind flayers and AI clairvoyance in equal measure. After weeks of searching, the source was triangulated. A damaged freighter orbiting the corpse moon of Eridex 5, well beyond sanctioned space. The Empress's wrath twisted into a tight, lethal smile. Bring them to me. The ship shuddered as Zarithian boarding craft clamped to its sides. Riven stood in front of Zyrella, weapons drawn, even though she had already told him who was coming. You don't have to fight, she whispered. They're here for me. They'll kill you. I don't care. She stared at him. Why? Because you're not like them. And because I've lived my life in cages. I won't die in one. He fought like a demon. 3 Zerithian elite guards fell before the first plasma burst. Another lost her wings to a graviton grenade. Riven didn't scream, didn't speak. Just moved. Fluid, fast, unstoppable. But there were too many. They caught him mid-leap, shock lances tearing through muscle and bone. Xyrella cried out, rushing to his side as the guards raised their weapons again. She stepped in front of him. "Touch him," she hissed, "and I'll end my life here and now. My mother would never forgive that." They froze. In the throne chamber aboard the flagship Eternal Flame, the Empress stood in silence. The doors opened. Xyrella limped in, bruised but alive. At her side, dragged in chains, was the bloodied form of Riven. Elariah surged to her feet. "My child!" Xyrella knelt, but her body shielded Riven's. "Mother, this man saved me." Elariah's eyes flicked to Riven. Recognition bloomed. The facial structure. The barcode. She spoke like ice cracking across a glacier. "A human." "Yes," Xyrella said. The Empress approached, descending the crystal steps of her throne. "A slave." "No longer," Xyrella whispered. "He's more noble than anyone in this court." Murmurs rippled across the chamber. Some laughed. Others gasped. Elariah tilted her head. "You defend this creature. I owe him my life. And I gave you life," the Empress thundered. "Do you betray me now for a feral beast?" Riven raised his head, blood running from his mouth. "I didn't ask for anything. I didn't rescue her for favors." The Empress approached him. "So what did you want, slave?" Riven met her gaze. "To prove someone like me could still matter. Even in your empire of monsters." There was silence. The Empress's eyes narrowed. She could destroy him with a word. A flick of her finger. But something stopped her. It was Xyrella, standing, arms spread in front of him like wings. "You raised me to command," she said softly. "But I've seen what command truly means now. You don't have to be born into power. You earn it." And he did. Elariah turned away. "Guards, remove this filth." But the guards hesitated. Xyrella spoke again. "You kill him and I leave this empire. Forever." Her voice was steel. "And if I let him live?" the Empress asked. "He lives as a free man." Now the silence was unbearable. No one had ever made demands of the Empress and lived. But Elariah, against every fiber of her ancient pride, sighed. "So be it." Weeks passed. Riven's body healed, but his heart did not. He stood at the edge of the Imperial Gardens, watching suns rise over sculpted nebulae. Xyrella approached him, silent. "You could leave," she said. "Go anywhere. You're free." "Free," he echoed like it was a strange word. "I've dreamed of this my whole life. But I never knew what to do with it." "Stay," she said. He looked at her. "Not as a servant," she clarified. "As something more." He reached out slowly, his scarred hand brushing hers. "I never thought I'd feel peace again." She smiled. "Then let's build it." Years later, legends would speak of a reformed empire, one where the Empress reluctantly ceded more and more power to her daughter, and where a former human slave walked beside royalty not as property, but as a partner. In some stories, they say Riven became the first non-Zerithian ambassador. In others, that he became the architect of a new coalition that sought peace instead of domination. But in the oldest tale, carved into the memory stone of Eridex, 5, it simply says this: "The Empress demanded her daughter's rescuer, and saw a man, not a slave."